Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, noobs, hackers, leaks, pros. Welcome to GameStar TV for your Tuesday night Heroes of the Storm action. My name is Kit Fox, your host for the final time for the 2017 GSQ qualifiers. Huge welcome extended, of course, to the audience and the teams in Twitch chat. We've got Crisis, our producer, pushing buttons behind the curtain. Skinny will be your play-by-play caster. Vandy will be your analyst. Vexium once again rocking it as community manager, and Aggro Tank handling the marketing. But we have reached the finale of one of ANZ's premier qualifiers for 2017. That is right, the GSQ HGC qualifiers right here on GameStar TV. This is the last week, the last chance for teams to earn points to go through. Nomia, who have been a powerhouse throughout this series, they just need one more win to guarantee themselves a spot. So we'll be featuring them first, but we'll get to that in a second. Second place is very, very tightly contested. Stasu and Sweet Dreams will be duking it out, so they will feature heavily tonight. All teams participating all 4 weeks will receive skins thanks to Blizzard ANZ, but that's only to teams that have participated for all 4 weeks. We don't know what skins at this stage, but skins nonetheless. Teams who do miss out do have a second chance, however. This Saturday at 11 a.m. AEDT is the ANZ Heroes qualifiers. That's 1 p.m. Or 11 a.m. AEDT, or 1 p.m. if you are from New Zealand. So 8 signups this week for the GSQ, which means Heroes hype is growing because it's week 4 of 4. The team's given a chance to play each other and gain experience against everyone, and they will need it coming into this weekend should they fail to qualify. And it is a different 5 maps as from last week from the official HGC map pool. This week we will feature Dragonshire, Cursed Hollow, Infernal Shrine, Braxis Holdout, and Warhead Junction in that order. And you can view the official map pool at www.gamestar.com if you wish to do so. All champs except Valera are playable this week due to the 2-week competitive ruling, but she may be playable on the ODC on Saturday, just awaiting confirmation from the guys over at ESL. But now, everybody, get your friends and family into the Twitch chat because, as always, that's right, we have got some viewer giveaways right from the start this time. So the raffle is going to be open in Twitch chat. Exclamation mark raffle right now. GameStar will be giving away a Little Ragnaros bundle at 50 viewers, Zuljin bundle at the end of the 4th round, and get your hands on a sweet, sweet Valera bundle after the 5th round. We'll open up separate raffles, so you'll have to enter each time, and that is all possible thanks to Blizzard ANZ. The players, they're not without their own prizes. The MVPs that will be nominated by the analyst and play-by-play caster after every game, they get themselves a chance to win themselves a headset thanks to the official headset sponsor of GameStar, Plantronics. But that is it from me. I've waffled on long enough. And if all that talk about waffles is making you drool, then wipe that away and pucker up because you're about to be kissed by one of the best sets of lips in the business. It's Skimmy.
It gets more and more ridiculous every single week there, Kit Fox. Thank you for the introduction. And how are you, Vandy?
Great. I mean, I'm talking to the best set of lips in the business. How can he not be great, right?
One would argue, how does he know what my lips are like? But we won't get too tied down by the specifics. We're going to jump into this game here. It's Nomia up against NMD. It's week 4, Vandy.
I know, which means the final week, which means that we get to crown our 2 winners that'll be going on for the finals. So this is what it all boiled down to, Skibby, and we're going to see them sort of fight with everything they've got tonight. So I am ready for this.
Absolutely. Nomia, a team that, they dropped 1 game week 1, and people were thinking, well, could this be the upset? Could we see the rise of a new titan within ANZ? But no, they came back strong, going 5-0 both week 2, week 3. Highly unlikely they're going to tilt and lose every single game tonight. So this one here will get you ready and rocking. And we'd like to think this would show you who your first team is going through to the Season 1 qualifiers.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right, Skimmy. And it's, as we said, it's 4 weeks of, I guess, Swiss format. We've seen them sort of going at it, and it's all just coming to, I want to see what they're going to bring out tonight. I want to see what strats we get, what sort of Desperado plays perhaps, and just sort of, if anything, if they've been watching HDC, if we're going to see a little bit of that inspiration here tonight.
Well, drawing from the sort of inspiration, they are, I believe, still over in NA and EU and playing on the older patch. So we're playing on the Valera patch, we're playing on the live one as opposed to a tournament draft patch. So things might be slightly different, but a lot of inspiration will definitely be drawn from that. No surprises there with ETC, the most played, most winning tank right now in the meta. And same for Rag. Rag is just far too strong in his own damn right. But looking at these two picks, there's quite a big obvious reason behind those. Globals for the rotations, and that's what you need to be able to secure that Dragon.
Exactly. And I mean, what we've sort of seen as well is already some of that HGC sort of inspiration coming through. We saw Malfurion and Falstad sort of being picked across the board, as well as Valera being highly contested. So good to see that in the past couple of weeks we've seen them be on trend. And it's just because they excel so well, Skimmy. Global is still not out of the equation, not one bit. And we've sort of seen that advantage really creep up, especially on the side of Nomia. That's how they sort of start getting their advantage, hitting that all-important level 10 first and just bringing it after that.
And NMD, this is a team that I know true strange really to the competitive circuit. They've got a lot of experienced members on their own side, so expect this draft to be one definitely to get your night kicked off and with plenty of action to boot. Malfurion, as you mentioned just briefly before, there's no reason why you wouldn't want to pick Malfurion. If he's available in that second rotation, you almost certainly have to pick it up unless you've got some quirky draft strategy up your sleeve. But flipping it over to how Nomia have drafted this first side of things, they've gone for the Tychus as well as Varian.
Varian's just so strong at the moment with, I guess, the changes that we sort of seen. It's a minor tweak, but really why they pick him is just for that reliable CC, especially if he goes taunt build as well. And Tychus, as we sort of seen, he's really favored. It means that, I guess, they're expecting them to hit back with a lot of tanks and a big front line, and really they're just looking to shred right through it, Nomia. So really good to see. And also, if Tychus takes the drill, you can really lock down one of the points on Dragonshire and just make it all that much harder to cap.
Yeah, it's like an impassable area that you're just going to be forced to take a ton of damage through. Looking at the ban, though, I was going to decide, I was going to think if they're going to go for a support ban, because support chokes tend to be quite common now, especially that sort of trinity of the top three. They do decide to go for Li Ming. Now, Li Ming and Ragnaros, we've seen this from Nomia time and time again. It's the most comfortable composition right now. And when they've run that in successful pairing, they've absolutely blitzed any team that stood in their way. Interestingly enough, though, we are still seeing a lot of priority on that Zarya ban. But Tassadar, where is the Tassadar after him being so highly favored throughout weeks 1 to 3?
Exactly right. Tassadar with his reworks, whom we sort of saw sneak in a couple of games. Once we saw him once, after that people at now were banning him again. And with good reason, Skimmy. He was also quite highly banned in HGC. I think a lot of it also has to do with just how much durability he can now provide the team, and just his shields, once again, just being able to just soak up so much damage.
Yeah, he's so frustrating to go up against, but you know, even still, Zarya is just the perfect wingman. Just fits into any team composition whatsoever. You've got shields, expulsion zone, and you've even got damage. So why would you not want to have Zarya amongst your roster? What I'm wondering, though, is we see Malfurion typically paired with other big AoEs. Namely, we have, there's the Tassadar. I was going to say we usually have it combined with, say, like Nazebo, Ragnaros, Zeratul, some other way to really find some max value, so to speak. But combining it with the Tassadar and Vala, that's your budget combination right there, and that's going to do tons.
Oh, it's going to make short work, I guess, in any sort of team fight that we see, and just such staples coming out. It's interesting to see, though, with that Tychus pick, he wasn't, I guess, favored as much on a global scale. So I guess he's still sort of an ANZ priority pick. And I guess the reason we see that as well is just with how we sort of see these players play. With Tychus, as we were sort of saying, you can really zone them out, whereas I guess we see on a global scale, it's a lot more about that team fights and sort of picking the advantage before objectives are even available. So interesting to see just, I guess, a little difference in our scenes.
Yeah, definitely. ANZ's always been known for having its own quirky strats and drawing inspiration from here and everywhere. But at the end of the day, people just go, it's a bit of a clan fiesta and you just pick whatever you win in quick match with. But let's look at this pick here. We've got Lieutenant Morales. Whether that's going to be the stim drone, which we've typically seen paired with the Tychus, to see what this final pick they're going to lock in for. Zeratul. I was wondering if Zeratul was going to be picked up by NMD. They did decide to go for the Vala. They will need a tank now. I'm thinking they're going to be going for that Johanna. It gives them a way of clumping up all these members. Because as you can see, that's 4 melee on the side of Nomia.
I reckon they would need the Johanna, and she could do work because they're quite melee heavy, as you said, Skimmy. But really, they were in no rush to select their tank because I guess with what was available for them and seeing that Bruiser line there, just interesting leaving it to last and getting those priority picks in there with Valor and Tassadar. But I guess if you weren't going to go down the path of Johanna, maybe even a Muradin for all that soak, but I feel like he'd just be less effective. Or we could also see an Artanis who could also do something similar with his heroic ability, sending down that, can't quite think of the name, but it just blinds everyone in the area.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Artanis on his own, but generally speaking, he seems a little bit weak. I'm wondering if they're going to go for the Johanna solely for the reason they have a beefy frontline Muradin, and you're looking to try and do picks, and if you're looking at the side of Nomia, they've got the Zeratul who's looking to get the picks on those squishy targets. Johanna is finally locked in, so I do know what I'm talking about, and that's why I'm sitting here.
That's why I'm sitting in the caster chair. There is no caster's curse here tonight, and I think, like you said, it just makes a lot of team sort of sense, because really she's got the crowd control as well as that all-important blind, and like you said, just really good at getting in there as well for the team. Great initiator.
So when it comes to the top lane, it's going to look to be Dahaka up against Fausted. Both should have a rather solid time up there. It's going to be an interesting matchup to watch. Dahaka obviously has the innate sustain, whereas Fausted will have the ability to rotate just a little bit quicker. In the sense of how they're going to want to be playing this out, Nomia have a much beefier front line, and generally speaking, that's the reason the meta is the way it is. They will be able to stick around in these fights for far longer, and they've got the Morales to give them a lot of sustain to keep up with what, say, Vala and Fausted will be trying to achieve. So keep an eye on how Fausted builds this one out. He might actually opt for an auto-attack damage build as opposed to the Mage Fausted.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised. It just depends on whether he wants, if he feels safe enough to sort of let go of the poke in favor of just getting a lot more reliable sustained damage. Will be interesting to see, but I will let you kickstart it off, Skibby.
Sounds good to me. On the left-hand side, Nomia needing this one win to qualify for Season 1 ANZ Final Championships. It's going to be Vanilla who's going to be playing Lieutenant Morales. Arcana is on Dahaka. Fat94 on Zeratul. John on Tychus. And Robodoba tanking it up on Varium.
And NMD, the red side tonight, we've got Jim Jam playing Falstad, Hiccup on Valor, Against Time playing Johanna, Tommy on Tassida, and to round it all off, Moondruid on Malfurion.
And to actually add another point there, Vandy, I completely overthought it before, but Shattering Throw, it's available on Varian. It's going to completely, it's going to do so much work up against Tassida and Johanna.
Yeah, it actually will. I mean, it sort of negates that. We really did overlook that one. It really will, because they're just so support heavy at the moment. So it's going to be interesting to see how that one plays out, Skimmy.
I'd even wonder if the teams themselves overthought it, because Varian hasn't really seen too much play. He's only been picked up recently, say from week 3 onwards. Maybe this is a case of teams not being too familiar with it. But there goes the level 1 Carnage straight in with the burrow. He gets the tongue action on towards Jim Jam, who's going to be forced to barrel away very early on. Still, the continued aggression comes out. It's going to force Jim Jam to go back to base. Same for Arcana as well. So close to a level 1 kill. The skirmish is going to finish up there.
And just looking at Falstad's talents right there, he's chosen to favour Seasoned Marksman. So right there, Skimmy, we're sort of seeing the indications of him wanting to go the auto-attack favoured build and just empower it as best he can.
Oh, John might be caught here. He's actually dashed away from the rest of his team. 3 members collapse. He's gone. Hiccup might actually have the aggression here. The Hungering Arrow does connect. Even over the gate. See you later there, says Hiccup. And that's Kiwi Pride coming out and taking through some Aussies.
Couldn't help it, could you, Skibby? But in saying that, he almost looked like he was safe there for a moment, and then just the delay as the arrow whipped right back. So it's just sort of that heart-sinking moment, like, did I make it? No.
And that's one way to feel tilted as this game starts off. But it was all started there by Moondruid landing a great entangling roots, and true to his name, he can definitely play that druid.
Oh, he's showing us what Malfurion's sort of known for. And right now we're sort of seeing there's a big brawl happening because they've sort of secured that top point right there. I guess Buster's having a bit of a hard time against Arcana because, well, he's not actually. Once I sort of looked up, he seems to be harassing him actually, but not making a move for the point yet because there's not really any rush for him.
So you can see right now the reason NMD seem to be having so much pressure and winning so hard in the bot lane right now is Fat94's been spending a lot of time rotating and focusing that top lane, really trying to excel Arcana and snowball that in his lead. Right now he's just actually in the mid lane, so he's going to be bouncing through, making sure that they are ahead in XP, and that is what they are right now. So definitely losing out in terms of pressure in the bot lane, but trying to put pressure on other sides of the map. And if that's a free empty lane in the top, well, Dahaka will not only accelerate that by getting a keep, by getting a fault, but also by securing that point.
Definitely, and we've seen that sort of in the past there where Fat94 has just made sure that he rotated with the Zeratul, just sort of gives so much more pressure to that solo laner, like you said.
Oh, but this could be vengeance here from Johnny. Does get it there with the overdrive. He's quite upset about that level 1 kill. But here comes Jim Jam in with the fly through. He's going to look to take out Rob here. Vanilla is doing as much as she can with that healing beam, and it is doing work right now. And that definitely has tilted Jim Jam, who spent a lot of resources coming on down through. 2 members actually in the mid lane collapse onto towards Johanna, which for a very long time they was holding off that point, but it's finally picked up there, and Arcana gets Dragon number 1 for Nomia.
Oh my gosh, that safeguard doing so much work there right now, and that's like you said, that's how you get tilted, just being denied that kills so much, but that's what Morales is great for. Left untouched is just going to spam the heals, and Nomia is really going to want to look to press the advantage in middle now, Skimmy.
Yeah, they're going to go for the double towers and most likely rotate through to the bot lane. Zeratul once again on sort of XP soaking duties. He did go in for the combo there, does flunk out on that one sides. Let's go back to standard lanes, but back in the bot lane, meanwhile, it's Rob. He's going to jump onto Tommy, trying to do a bit of work, and it's a double support action. Really trying to soak things up here. And if we actually take a look at the level 4 talent for Tassadar, he's gone for Color's Embrace, so really trying to enable and empower both Faster and Vala, making sure they stay along for the ride.
I think that was a no-brainer there for that Tassadar, just wanting to empower all the damage that they have. Good to see, especially as we're sort of seeing now they're both favouring quite an auto-attack, I guess, heavy build, with Vala maybe veering into multi-shot. But what I'm interested to see, I guess, was just how quick NMD was mustering the defense to the Dragon threatened mid. It was quite good to see. And as well as not sending everyone so that they had enough team members to also deal with the 3-man push down and bot.
Yeah, they need to definitely be on their A game, because you can already see a 1-level lead being acquired here by the side of Nomia. And they're going to come in for a very aggressive invade right now. They've got 4 members in support looking to try and take this easy. 4 members actually now in response. There comes Arcana, and straight away the double global pressure coming on through from both sides. Actually, it's a 1-for-1 at this stage. Tychus for Malfurion, arguably the better trade now for Nomia, taking out that support. They do have double support, so bear that in mind. Arcana is still very deep in the backline, looking to try and regroup with his team. Tommy is dangerously low, and Arcana is going to do work with that Primal Swarm. He's looking for it, but it's going to be Vala that drops before that comes into fruition. And they are still looking for the aggression right now, Nomia. They are looking for a triple kill. They are hungry to try and assert their lead. They want level 10. They want this game. They get another kill for their efforts. Great start here by Nomia.
Great fight, but I mean, NMD as well, we're so restrained as well. We sort of saw both teams just go straight for, I guess, each support, but they couldn't quite touch Vanilla. And then once it was just sort of left up to it, Morales was just left just in the background, just healing everyone up, and that's just where they started losing the fight.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but you can see how swift that response was with the double globals. The burrow comes in, same with the flight, and they make sure that kills are going to be secured as a result. And Arcana was just sitting so far back that it was almost a case of we can't move forward, we can't move back, where do we go? Well, I guess there's only one option, that's that 3 of us are going to drop on out. Nomia do actually have level 10 now, and Morales has actually gone for Stim Drone, so I was wondering if that would be the case. They are going to commit to it, so expect to see that on Tychus for John to be pumping out big numbers.
It's going to be a bit of a monster there. We have seen Stim Tychuses in the past, and they can shred through. But really, I think they're more worried about that 94 and Robodoba getting to their backline, because that's what happened last time. So they're really going to be looking to keep Moondruid and Tommy safe in these extended team fights.
So the focus once again is in that top lane, where the point is currently controlled by NMD. Jim Jam doing work to make sure that rotation does now come from Zeratul, who is making his way up there now. You know, on the bot lane, it's still the 3 versus 3 with Joanna bouncing between lanes too. So it's almost a case of having 2 solo roamers, be it the Zeratul, be it the Johanna, both on XP duties, but looking for those opportunities to try and secure an advantage. Same sort of story again, though. Vandy is looking like against time is going to be the focal point of this one. He went for the defense last time. He's done it again. He's going to try and go for the kill here. In fact, 94 needs 1 more shot, should do it. 180 health. They are running for it. And there goes the kill, finally secured. It's going to be the late rotation coming out of NMD here, but this is too little too late. Dragon number 2 is being picked up by Nomia, and they can't do anything until level 10 is being picked up.
The rotation was just so swift, Skimmy, as we sort of saw. And as soon as they locked in the top and bottom, exactly all that pressure just sort of came against time right there, caught in the middle. So just so good to see Nomia's rotation so on point tonight.
Yeah, a lot of attention really is on those solo lanes to manipulate. They're kind of like the playmakers in this scenario. You've got the solid laners in the top and bot doing their job. That's where they're meant to be. But if you are Johanna, if you are Zeratul, it's up to you to try and make it play. And if you get caught, well, you can see what happens. You lose yourself another dragon. Looking at the level 10 ultimates on the side of NMD now, this is the rework tester. He has gone for Archon, so expect to see that do a lot of work as it slows, but also does a fair chunk of damage.
It does, and we're seeing, I guess, the Mighty Gus picked up by Falstaff for, I guess, defensive, or hopefully we'll see some engagements coming out of that too, and the Reign of Vendors by Valor. So really, they just wanted to stack on the CC there to better help them dictate the fights better so they can control it, Skimmy.
Yeah, and it was Falstaff actually the whole time pushing top lane, not deciding to join up. He's actually going to stick around for a little bit longer. Arcana surely knows he's there, but the back has been reinitiated once more, whilst the rest of the team now are looking for a fight in mid lane. This could be a pretty good chance for NMD to actually pick up an aggression. Pickup was deciding whether or not to do it. He did decide to bait out, thinking that it was going to be an ambush, but two members of Nomia, meanwhile, just in the bot lane picking up a night camp for free.
It almost looks like a couple of mind games happening here, because you know there's a Zeratul somewhere on the map. You're just wondering where he is. So I think it's a bit of that cautiousness as well, especially because now they are finding themselves in a position where they're now 2 levels behind. So they're just making sure that they don't lose any more of that vital XP. Just not basically putting a step out of line, which is good to see. But sometimes, as you said, you're just kind of missing those opportunities there.
Yeah, this is classic Nomia, though. They pick up those opportunities and they will just dry any possible chance of a comeback from never really coming across on the board. And in this sort of scenario, you can see they're going to push in with a heavy Merc advantage in that bot lane, try and break down that keep wall, open up a win condition for them. And Zeratul's going to do a great job here. Sort of soaking out, looking around, making sure that somebody's not trying to get a flank. And trying to be a little bit too desperate and aggressive. Right now, though, NMD are playing it to a T. They realise they are a level behind, they're a talent down, they don't want to do anything too stupid. And they're just going to play a comfortable base defense.
Exactly. There's no need to be hasty until the dragon's up. So if Nomia get this will be their 3rd dragon. We're sort of going into the mid-game now. This is when it really starts to be able to push through and even get one of those all-vital keeps.
Well, it'd be interesting to see how these fights break out. It is a taunt variant this time around, and taunt is just so ridiculously strong. It's another stun, essentially. You charge into somebody with the Warbring at level 4. You are locking down that member for a considerable amount of time, especially if that Violet gets too aggressive with a Vault to try and get the final kill. That taunt is going to really secure you having a bad day. And well, this could be where we actually see some taunt action coming across. It's going to be 3v3 in the bot lane once again. There goes the taunt, followed by the charge. And look at that. Tassadar drop already to a sliver of his health. And he is forced to back away straight like that. But Jinjan's coming with the very aggressive flight in. There goes Jinjan on towards Tychus, who's going to try and get first blood taken out in this engagement. The VP, Hiccup caught on the wrong spot. 4 other members locked into that bubble, and the Twilight Dream comes out of it. But it's just not going to be enough, Andy. That is another member drop, followed by a 3rd and a 4th, looking for the ace. Nomia with no kills to the side either. Tassadar drops just like that. And this is what Nomia do. They just completely wipe the board, and they're going to most likely get a keep here.
Huge Void Prism right there by Fat94. Just really gave them really limited options to come back and fight with their Skimmy. There's just nothing that they could really do because it was just so well executed and just picking them off. Like you said, the taunt just going out. This is why we're seeing Varian being favored so much, because it's, as you said, that reliable crowd control. He literally gets a gap closer and then a stun. So it's why he's just so highly regarded at the moment. And I guess why we're seeing him come back into competitive. But here we go. We're seeing NMD wanting to do another sort of maybe try catch them out if Nomia want to overstay, but it's not their style, Skimmy.
Yeah, they want to try and chase on here, but I mean, they're 3 levels down. It's a complete talent tier down, not to mention the differences in health and damage that you're really providing. They're going to get aggressive about it. The Gus does come out here. Against time trying to lead the charge. He goes for the Condemn as well. He is looking to try and lock people down with the Blessed Shield. It's not going to be enough, though, because the turnaround comes straight away on towards Hiccup, who is forced to get the regrowth. Fat94 trying to get the final secure on that damage, but no, it's not going to be enough. The Hungering Arrow does get deterred, bounces off to another member. Oh, Hiccup does finally drop there, and it's both members of the DPS squad for NMD gone and out. And this is really Nomia hitting that power spike, abusing that talent advantage, and picking up triple kills and a dragon for their troubles.
Oh, I mean, like you said, at a sort of certain point we were like, NMD, you can turn back, it's all right, but it was going to be all or nothing for them. It's interesting to see the Nomia boys, they always seem to just get the flow right. They know when to turn, know when to retreat. They're just so on point, Skimmy, and like you said, it's just what they do so well. We've seen it a couple of weeks now. This is the 4th week we've seen them doing it, and it looks like they want to close here now, Skimmy.
It looks like they're comfortably going to close here. They're going to go straight towards the score. Core's dropping down to 40%. And this is by no means no bad team from NMD. This is a bunch of experienced players, but they're making them look like bots right now. They're hitting the core. Fat94, doesn't matter if he dies or if any of the other members die. That is a dead core. And that is Nomia punching their tickets for the finals.
I like that valiant just sort of effort at the end there with the Mighty Gus trying to deter the Dragon even more. He only lasted on a little sliver there, but good game. to Nomia and Skimmy. Who's going to be your MVP? First one for the evening.
For myself personally, I'm going to have to give commendations to Fat94. I like the work that he did. He really understood the role that he had in that game to rotate between the mid and the top and try and really set up kills and alleviate pressure for Arcana, but also to actually scout out the kills on the enemy side, which in this case was against time. They secured 2 vital kills. That set up the Dragons, and the snowball went from there. What about yourself?
I have to give it to Fat94. That VP at the end there, it really did convince me. Yes, he doesn't have the most hero damage. Yes, he might not have the most sort of XP contribution, but it was, as you said, just putting the pressure on the lanes and making NMD almost just psychologically think about their positioning the whole game. It was just great to see.
Well, there you go, Fat94. For the final week of the Games of Summer qualifiers, you get yourself another nomination for a sweet chance at winning that Plantronics headset. But for now, back to you, Kit Fox.
Thank you very much, Skimmy, but we skimmed over one important detail, and that is that Nomia, with that victory, they have qualified for the Blizzard HGC. They have now racked up 15 points, only losing 1 game for all 4 weeks so far, and that was in week 1. They've seemed to have buffed the scratches out of their game and come back hard, fast, and strong. So congratulations to Nomia, but now it's all about that coveted second spot. Who is going to take it? Will it be Sasu? Who knows? Sweet Dreams, they are chomping at the bit to qualify for guaranteed $2,000. We're going to be giving away the RAG bundle at the end of the next match. So type !RAG in chat if you haven't done so already. Make sure you are following the stream to be eligible to win. Costs you nothing, could win you something. And of course, thank you to the sponsors, Zowie, Strive for Perfection, XSplit, Challenge, and Player.me, as well as Plantronics, the official headset sponsor of GameStar. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back very, very soon with round 2 right here on GameStar TV.